their quest. And we are just about ready to go here, and we'll talk along the way about what is randomized, including the map, the treasure chest and search spot contents, also the town and cave locations, the weapon and armor shop contents, the enemy locations and enemy spells and abilities are randomized, and the order of the spells learned, all 10 spells are guaranteed to be learned by level 16. And also a little surprise or two once they get to the Dragon Lord. And that it's got a range of hit points between 150 and 165 as opposed to the 130 that's in the vanilla version.
Start looks like a dragon's scale, a cursed belt, and the spell of repel. Not going to be too useful, as Breckenary right outside the castle. With the other town being Rimeldar, so easy access to keys. In fact, Rimeldar being an annoying spot, if you want to go west from the start, you have to walk through Rimeldar. As it's kind of blocking the way with that one tile gap, and AzraelRavenheart getting taken out by the Droll.
And yes, Rimeldar, the one place where you can buy some keys, and Eternal Newbie giving a suggestion in chat, which I think might be what Ouijawii is about to do here, is to sell that cursed belt, which you can get for 180 gold, and theoretically they will then go back over to Rimeldar, and they'll be able to purchase keys as they are 53 apiece, and also selling the Dragon Scale for an additional 10.
Yeah, it's safe to sell that. Once you equip the Dragon Scale, you keep the stat bonus of 2 defensive power even after selling it. It's going to buy up a club, not a bad choice with this low strength. Buy up a leather armor, have enough for a key.
That's another interesting strat as well, because of how low the strength and agility are, the attack and defense. Every little bit helps, as the club gives an additional 4 attack power, and the leather armor an additional 4 defense power.
Oh no, Azrael running straight into the wolf, but manages to escape with his gold intact.
And heads right back into Breckenary, also known as Sixth Town, because of that 6 gold in will allow you to recover your hit points and magic points. So now with 184, Azrael going to give it another try here. Now Ouijawii running into the wolf, who sends him back to the castle, and I think that might have been what Ouijawii was looking for. Might be able to get a save here and then see what's going on in the treasury.
Yeah, Ouijawii only having 1 key. Wants to check the armory, the treasury. Could be an armory if it's got sword. But yeah, check this. If it's no good, just reset. Although gold's good. Gold is very good. Azrael trying to explore a little bit more, spots a cave off to the west, but is taken out by the metal scorpion.
Yeah, a little outside of the proverbial zone here. So now Azrael is going to go ahead and open up the treasury here. And now decisions. I guess Azrael going to go with the half-plate armor, which will certainly help. In the already low defense. Half-plate armor being right in the middle, the fourth best armor out of 7. It adds 16 defense power to the total. And level 2 on Azrael's side here. Thanks to the Magician. Ooh, and the Ghost with Sleep. That's a bit of a problematic issue here. And now Azrael going to level 3. Ooh, 16 power, 3 speed, 2 hit points, 3 magic points, and we've got a spell of Outside.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the technical difficulties on my end.
No worries. I believe we had these same technical difficulties. It was just trying to work through them here. So Azrael trying to see if he can take out the slime on the 1 hit point. As Ouijawii getting slept for the moment. But is there barely able to take out the Ghost. Meanwhile, Azrael falling to an enemy and is now going to go back into the treasury just to, I guess, replenish on some gold. Why not?
Yeah, I was going to ask, was there anything better in Rimeldar? Because that's kind of when my stream cut out, and I would think there'd be something better than just the club there.
Well, I'm not 100% sure if they checked. But Azrael's stocking up on keys, and we're going to see what is behind Tanagel Castle. And we've got the Silver Harp Cave, or the Staff of Rain Cave, where you trade in the Silver Harp, for that matter.
Yeah, good to not have to locate that, as Azrael is going to be taking the double doors here. One item here to be picked up. And by item, I mean gold.
So big bucks all around in the early going here. Now let's see if they can spend that money wisely. As it looks like a hand axe on Azrael's side.
Good little
While
pickup
Ouijawii
there.
doing a little bit of grinding. And yes, chat noting that in Rimeldar is the Flame Sword, and there are probably a number of ways to get up to that 9,800 gold, but let's see here as Azrael is in a cave, and
Garen's grave.
Garen's grave, yes.
We have a little sync level going on.
Yeah, both getting to level 4 at exactly the same time here.
Yeah, although Ouijawii gets the extra health as he's on the strength health build, and Azrael just gets smacked down by a Demon Knight.
And up to NG noting in chat that the traditional gold grind is available if he's able to get through that cave and open some chests. And, well, what that gold grind is, well, it's taking advantage of a little bit of a glitch that occurred in the game is, scorpions with the spell of heal. But chests respawn every time you go to the overworld map, but due to the programming limits at the time the game was made, the game only tracks up to 8 chests as opened, and then every chest opened beyond that 8th treasure chest can be taken over and over again. So usually it's done by one of our runners taking at least 2 chests from a cave and then death warping back to Tanager Castle, as once they're back in the throne room, 3 chests that are marked as taken because, well, you already took them in the beginning of the game, and they're that way so that you don't just keep spamming what's in the throne room over and over again. And then if you go into the treasury, that would account for the remainder of the chest to get to that 9th chest, which hopefully, in this case, there's 2 out of 4 shot, that it is some sort of gold that's between 500 to 750 that they can take over and over again. And they'll be able to take advantage of that and get some very powerful equipment like the flame sword, the full plate or magic armor, as well as the silver shield. So Ouijawii now is getting some keys, as looks to be a bit of a pause on Azrael's side. So there's a number of different possibilities of how things can move along here, as Ouijawii now hopping into the throne room and grabbing the whole lot of things here.
Yeah, it looks like Ouijawii may be going for the ghetto grind. Just exit and re-enter, pick up some gold. He's up to 2K, which will get him the hat plate. Not bad. And he'll have enough for the hand axe as well, so he'll even up the gear difference here as soon as he deals with this wolf.
Ooh, but he is attacked from behind and is able to successfully run away, just barely clinging on here, but we'll be able to get in and get the hand axe.
Azrael's stream comes back in time to let us know that there are knights somewhere in the world and they are not happy to see us.
And somewhere along the way, Azrael got up to level 5.
Which, if the stats on the bottom look correct, looks to be a nice power gain.
It looks like by comparison, a gain of about 13. Not much in terms of agility. Hit points pretty nominal as well. And I want to thank Jay Coper in chat for taking care of a little bit of the behind-the-scenes stuff as far as the display here for the Randomania Network. As you can see, the community among the Randomania Network and the different randomized games, it's a total team effort, to say the least.
Yeah, Jay Coper taking care of that title for us. We have Sparkover doing the restreaming and Z-Man on tracking. So, thanks to all of them for their hard work tonight.
So almost simultaneous level gains once again. This time Ouijawii to level 5 and Azrael to level 6. As far as I've seen, not so much anything at this point with the gaining of spells.
Yeah, both players looking to just grind here, finding a different zone right south of Tantagel to utilize.
And Ouijawii going up to level 6. Oh, and the wolf taking out Ouijawii. So that's going to cost half the gold. Meanwhile, Azrael back into Brecconary, which is very helpful for our runners at this point with that very cheap in, even though there is borderline money to burn here so far in the early part of the seed.
It looks like Ouijawii keeping him with the grind at the moment, just looking to get some more stats or maybe some healing or hurt more spells before he takes off exploring.
Well, kind of difficult to do given the droll in this case. Although the wolf might be able to help a little bit more now with that added strength. Yeah, able to take out 40 experience at a time.
Yeah, he's got enough power to get through these metal scorpions and wolves, and they're giving some nice experience for level 6.
And the target number to get to level 7 is going to be 337 experience.
Yeah, just 2 kills away from that for Ouijawii is. On the other hand, Azrael going to get with this metal scorpion kill.
So we'll see what level 7 brings to the mix.
We have a spell. Ooh, heal more and hurt more. Level 7 bringing the goods.
That definitely is helpful. So that'll open things up and then some, as hurt more generally causing between 58 and 65 hit points of damage. So that'll take out a good portion of the enemies in one shot. And then you've got Heal More, which heals roughly 85 to 100 hit points per casting.
Yeah, with those spells, I think it's time to go see if you can actually get that stuff in Garen's grave.
And let's talk a little bit about these stuff that they're going to be trying to get. Actually, we're first going to look at Ouijawii getting to level 7 here. Only about a minute or so behind Azrael. But yes, our runners are going to be looking to acquire the Rainbow Drop, and they'll need some key items to get, including the Silver Harp, which they're going to trade in for the Staff of Rain in the basement of Tantagel Castle, the home castle there. They'll also be looking for the Stones of Sunlight, and they'll be looking for Erdrick's Token. Erdrick's Token, it's a little bit more difficult to find, as it can be in a treasure chest, or it can be in one of 3 search spots throughout the land. But let's see what we've got here. So there's the Silver Harp.
Sword. The big stick.
Erdrick's Sword, the best sword in the game, the best weapon in the game.
Both players gain 40 attack power from that weapon, a 25-point increase from their hand axes.
And pretty much almost in stereo as they do so here.
Yep, and they're going deeper. 2 more chests to find here in the bottom part of Garen's grave, Azrael coming up upon one now. Oh dear. These two chests are going to be well guarded, though.
Yes, the Red Dragon, one of the tougher enemies in the game, actually I think among the toughest, behind the Dragon Lord himself. It is known in the Dragon Warrior community as the Fun Police, because whenever they show up, the fun tends to stop.
Azrael making it to the middle chest and just finding a torch. And we'll have to brave this dive a bit more and hope that nothing mean shows up. And there's golems here. Another strong enemy. Meanwhile, Ouijawii heads into Tantal's basement. Gonna get that Staff of Rain taken care of right now.
Just one less thing to have to think about later. So that's already one of the key items out of the way. Now it's just a matter of finding the stones, finding the token, finding the Rainbow Drop Cave where the old man will trade it in, known in the community as the Jerk Cave, because if you don't have Erdrick's token and you go to talk to him, he literally kicks you out of the cave.
Azrael about to make it to this bottom chest. Takes it. The Stones of Sunlight.
Ooh. So Garen's grave is holding quite a bit of a bounty, to say the least.
And now you've got to think, Ouijawii went down there. Fun Police said no. When do you think he's going back?
Well, that's an interesting question, is does Ouijawii go back or not? And wait, oh, we've got what looks to be the swamp cave that Ouijawii found, and that leads to the back of Garenham. So there are 3 more chests that Ouijawii will be able to find here.
Nothing too important, just gold, fairy water, and I believe an herb.
That is correct. So the fairy water working like the repel spell, and that any enemies that have the basically, as far as your defense, have the same or lower strength, you won't encounter them in the overworld. And now it looks like Azrael has found Swamp Cave. Meanwhile, a large shield purchase on Ouijawii's side, so that's going to be 10 defense points increase for him.
Not
and
too
a
bad.
Roll Magi taking out AzraelRavenheart.
Stonemen camping out outside of Garenham, but their low agility, Ouijawii can get away from that easily. And Azrael, I think, grinding here for herbs.
Yeah, that is an herb grind.
But that herb grind is about to turn into money printing.
So this will be advantageous here. I mean, no need to now grind up to get that flame sword, but at this point, he can certainly get the 14,800 gold to get the silver shield, which is the best shield in the game, as Ouijawii falling once again to the red dragon.
Yeah, I think that was an unfortunate death because I think he was outside of a cave when that happened.
And Ouijawii now going to explore once again over to the east.
Finding an Axe Knight. One of the favorite targets of anybody wielding Hurtmore is they'll usually take them out in 2 hits. I mean, 1 hit. But not so much luck this time. Fails to take him out in 1 hit and then misses as Ouijawii falls.
That was unfortunate in that the Axe Knight usually has really low resistance to a hurt spell.
Axe Knights only have a resistance of 1/16, so very unlucky for that to happen. Also a bit of a mistake. Could have just gone for a normal attack and taken care of it, but Azrael picking up not the bamboo pole, but the Staff of Rain.
And we should mention that with that gold grind glitch, as now going up to level 9 is Ouijawii, but with that gold grind glitch, it tends to present some items that are a bit uncommon. When you see the bamboo pole, it pretty much goes back to the top of the inventory, but sometimes it just generates some random words between the items and enemies. Everything from the Axe Ghost to the Sword Magician to the Red, I think we saw at one point, and all other things in between.
Yeah, I had a new one just a couple of hours ago, the Harp Knight.
Oh yeah, the Harp Knight. I have seen that one before on occasions as well. I'm sure somewhere somebody has them all written down, all the fun ones that have been encountered here among the tournaments now.
Ouijawii has enough health to take down that Arbor Knight. Pick him up a nice chunk of experience.
And while Azrael was working on some errands, including getting the Staff of Rain, Ouijawii's kind of quickly jumped out to a roughly 500 experience lead. Now Azrael has found the swamp cave and immediately casts outside and has marked where Garanham is. Is that where that leads to? So a little more money for Azrael coming up here, as well as the fairy water and herb.
Ouijawii nailing another Armored Knight, just about to hit level 10. I think
Yep.
Ouijawii is actually on the spike tile in the swamp cave. But not successful against that AK-47, as their fun little nickname, as they hit real hard.
Yes, another popular nickname or meme among the community. Hitting as hard as an AK-47 is the Armored Knight. They're among the toughest enemies in the game as well. So Azrael now with the best shield in the game and the third best armor. Ouijawii still has a little to catch up in that department, and Azrael trying to get away from the Red Dragon, and the Red Dragon says, nope, you want to get away, you got to go back to the castle.
Spectre's packing sleep.
But thankfully not hitting that hard, although, well, okay, the hurt spell. If anything, what they're the hardness that they're hitting with is time. The fact that they're just attacking you for 2, 3, hitting you with a hurt, for 8 in this case. But now, 10 power and 12 hit points, and we've got another spell or 2 as well.
Not a bad level up there. Picking up the heal spell with this low health, that will actually be their choice over the heal more spell.
And they also got Return, which will allow them to voluntarily go back to the castle, as for the most part they've been involuntarily going back to the castle via the deaths.
Yeah, speaking of involuntarily going back to the castle... Okay, never mind, he got away.
just able to survive with 2 hit points left. And I stand corrected, it looks like it was level 8 where Return was acquired, and I had missed it in the hullabaloo of everything here. So that is 6 out of the 10 spells acquired by level 10 so far.
This desert is just mean. Fun Police have that cave on lockdown. But I don't know if they have anywhere else to go at the moment. There's not much of a first continent. I don't know how many more branching paths there are on the second continent, so they may just have to tough it out for the time being. As Ouijawii's heading back into Garen's grave, this will be a good thing for him because this will take him to the Stones of Sunlight if he can make it down. If Demon Knight takes him out.
It is a very large if thus far. And Ouijawii, despite these struggles here, has jumped out to about a 1,000 experience point lead.
Yeah, Ouijawii elected to take a little bit of an early grind on the Armor Knights inhabiting the Spike Tull and Swamp Cave. So that's jumped him out a little bit.
But that's the thing. All it takes is a few quick enemies, especially one that's a bit more efficient, and that can easily be made up as Ouijawii now heading back into Garen's grave. And there's one of those aforementioned Armored Knights. Whew. Almost one-shots Azrael here.
Azrael going to pick up level 9 as Ouijawii gets put to sleep by the Wraith Knight. But wakes up and takes him down. And it looks like you said Azrael just had to do a little bit of grinding of his own to catch up, and looks like that's what he tried to do, but the Hurtmore misses, and the AK-47 doesn't.
And now Ouijawii heading further south into the grave is approaching the 4th of 5 chests. And is going to go pick up his torch. And it looks like Azrael's going to try to head back into the Swamp Cave. Will Ouijawii make it all the way down?
I think Ouijawii has a good chance as long as he survives this particular floor. It looks like the zone beneath this is pretty much fluff, so if he can make it to the staircase, he should be getting his Stones of Sunlight.
And along the way is just 100 experience away from level 11. So all things considered, pretty efficient in terms of grinding up experience along the way as you're trying to take care of the other errands in the game. And Azrael, meanwhile, working on a grind outside of the Swamp Cave, as the Knights look to be pretty ripe for Hurtmoring.
Ouijawii up to level 11. Ew.
Ooh, and the Armored Knight takes out Azrael.
Ouijawii has made it and is going to feel relief at picking up those stones of sunlight. As it looks like we're about to have a little travel together. Or wait, no, Ouijawii is heading back into the Tantagel. Going to pick up a little bit more gold, why not?
I wonder if it would have crossed Ouijawii's mind there to perhaps Death Warp from the grave. Well, he'd only gotten 2 of the chests, but 2 is really all that was needed. But is instead going to go for the full plate for an upgrade, and Ouijawii, yes, did pick up these Stones of Sunlight.
Yeah, if Ouijawii never goes for the gold grind, Azrael is already going to have the defensive edge with the strength agility build, and this is him more defensive power on top of it, which means Azrael's going to have better chances to defense break stuff compared to Ouijawii.
Yeah, the agility providing the agility bonus for Azrael, giving a little bit extra defense, and then the 10 defense differential by comparison of the silver shield to the large shield. And now here comes level 10. So this is a battle of 1-0 racers here, as in the first Swiss round, Ouijawii upended Will Wagner Music, and AzraelRavenheart, well, he had certainly an interesting one, a really close one to say the least, taking on and besting Amazing Toaster by about 5.5 minutes.
Ouijawii making another attempt at this cave, running into all kinds of problems, getting his spells blocked by the Stone Man, just barely getting away from the Red Dragon. And he's going to try to take down this Axe Knight, and is successful.
It seems like considering how hard the Armored Knight's hitting, it may not be a bad enemy to grind, but just not right now. As you can see there, Azrael, well, tried to go for a hurt more, and it just wasn't enough, as the attack is still too strong, even with the 65 defense points that Azrael has.
Yeah, not much health gained yet, only 60 for Ouijawii, and he's got the health build. Of course, as other races have shown, that can flip around in an instant. Another red dragon for Ouijawii.
It almost seems like Azrael's trying to gamble in this section here and just hoping for these knights that he can hit with a hurt more, get his 78 experience, and move on. As that's the most efficient way. And usually the Armored Knights, they're among the better ones, but you have to hit hurt more twice on it, and it's a matter of if that spell doesn't work, well, then it's been sending you back. So it's been questionable, to say the least.
Looks like Azrael's had enough and is gonna take a heal and then explore, as Ouijawii gets a real good run to finally reach this cave. Which seems to be Mountain Cave. Nope, it's Tablet Cave.
There it is, yep. So free walk, no enemy encounters down here, a little bit of a winding path, but at the end of it there is one treasure chest. Which at this point, it'd be great for them if it's Erdrick's token, but it's the Fighter's Ring, which isn't bad either. Once you put that Fighter's Ring on, as Ouijawii just did, it adds an additional 2 attack points to your total. You can see already up to 106 here at level 11. That's not too shabby.
And we have a bridge to nowhere. Except Magic Wyverns. With the Diet Wombo combo.
Sleep and hurt more, and just like that, Ouijawii gets slept and wrecked.
Meanwhile, Azrael's trying to fight the Stone Man down. I don't think the Stone Man has blocked the spell yet, but it has now. And it's going to take Azrael down as well, so both are going back. Just neither runner being able to really explore here against these powerful monsters. As Z-Man may be exaggerating a little, but...
Only
yeah, they've been seeing the king a whole lot this seed.
Yeah, noting that the death count apparently is 972,616,234. I think that might be for all of the tournament matches in 2018 combined, if you include the Chaos Tournament. I think that might be a fairly accurate number.
Meanwhile, Ouijawii was in a cave that contained red dragons, because why not?
Oh, just tonight, says Z-Man in chat. Well, there have been a lot of races tonight here as far as the tournament has gone. Very, very backloaded has the tournament been as far as the second round, the second Swiss round. So don't forget, coming up at the conclusion of this race here, I believe JJ Schmidt, one of the administrators of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament, will have the randomly drawn matchups among the competitors with the same record that will go on for Swiss Round 3. So the 2-0s will be facing one another, the 1-1s will square off, and the 0-2s will as well. And after the 5 rounds, the way that this tournament works is those who have a 3-2 record or better will advance to the bracket stage. Those who are 2-3 will have a play-in match, a last chance match to fill out the bracket of 24. And then from there, it'll be single elimination all the way up until the semifinals, which those semifinal matchups, as well as the championship match, will be a best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, Ouijawii getting a nice level up here, plenty of health. That was really needed. I believe that was 21 for health. Not enough to stave off the fun police, though. But yeah, both these runners are 1-0, so getting that win guarantees them at least the play-in race. And it's going to help take some of that pressure off as they go forward.
And the aforementioned admin, JJ Schmidt, noting he's got a randomizer and a notepad. Pretty high-tech stuff. Here comes level 11 for Azrael. No strength, 2 speed, 3 hit points, and 1 magic point.
Yeah, going along with that thought I was having earlier. Someone in chat already mentioning just how powerful some of the people are in the 1-1. I'd say they're scary people all the way up and down, so you can get yourself guaranteed to move on. You'd be happy.
And that's the thing. I mean, there are even folks who are 0-2 that are certainly scary. I mean, this is definitely a very deep field of 42. There are no... I mean, even some of the people who are new to the community, I mean, we've seen upsets along the way here. I mean, just looking up and down at some of the names here, I mean, yes, some of the ones that are in the top SRL rankings are the ones that people gravitate towards, whether it's Mr. Holmes or whether it's Game Boy F9, whether it's Nest Cardinality. But there are a lot of other runners that are right up there in that tier. I mean, High Spirits, who won the Chaos Tournament Championship earlier this year. I mean, JJ Schmidt, certainly a formidable competitor. McGrew, the creator of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer. I mean, up to NG, BTs, Z-Man, Ouijawii here, who's held world records in the vanilla Dragon Warrior manipulation. He and Nest Cardinality have been going back and forth. I mean, Angry Larry's always up there and has pretty much beaten everybody at one point or another. Ryu Station, the Seawolf. I mean, I feel bad because I feel like I'm forgetting mentioning somebody, and they'd be like, "How can you mention me among the?" That's the thing. I could pretty much go through all 42 names, and that's how deep it is. And the OG Curbs mentioning in chat, the field is deep and full of dragons, and that is also accurate.
And the overworld is full of dragons, as well as Azrael gets a little bit of exploration in, but this blue dragon is going to put an end to that. I think Ouijawii's had enough, is just going to grind for a bit here. Take on this Armored Knight.
Yeah, and Sports Hefe pointing out in chat, I haven't had a chance to line up the 2-0s, 1-1s, and 0-2s. That's where JJ's coming into play here. But he asks, do you want to deal with 0-2 Jay Coper or 0-2 to Tie-Dye Guy? I mean, both of them are extremely formidable. I mean, some people, it has been the luck of the draw that they've come up against somebody, and others, it's just been really, really close races along the way. So... it's kind of once your poison is picked, just go out there and do your best, and that's how it is for everybody here. And the Red Dragon's certainly doing its best.
Yeah, this siege just ground to a halt because of those Red Dragons. Azrael was able to break through a bit, but wasn't able to find anything with it, and we're just gonna have to see if anybody can break through again and maybe find another important town. There's still plenty. We still need to find Cole, we still need to find Cantlin, we still need to find Hawksness.
And given that two of these search items, the Erdrick's Armor as well as Erdrick's Token, are being sought, those are the 3 towns to be able to go to, as Cole has a searchable item, potentially, as does Hawksnest, although that's guarded by an enemy. And Cantlin has the coordinates available, and here's Azrael eliminating one of the possibilities with a torch in the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight Cave.
That cave also known as Bonus Cave because it's just a free item. Meanwhile, over on Ouijawii's side, he's actually been having trouble just getting to the Armored Knight because red dragons seem to be infesting the swamp cave.
As well as that bonus cave, as Azrael is now sent back.
You've got to be wondering how these runners feel running into this roadblock. You gotta wonder if maybe your opponent's gotten through and maybe found something of importance after this time. We're already nearing the hour mark and we haven't made much progress for a while.
Yeah, at this point, both of the runners have kind of put grinding up to a backseat as they want to get the exploration, and it's just the enemies that have prevented them from exploring have been very tough, and then some.
Looks like Ouijawii's broken through the desert of horrible death by red dragons. Going to make the same moves as Azrael did earlier.
But now heading east of what was the, I believe the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight Cave, and running into a Drakema with Dragon Lord Breath.
Yeah, Ouijawii happy that he has that health, as he has enough to take a Dragon Lord Breath on the chin, and he just burns that Drakey down. Doesn't even risk the normal attack not finishing it.
So now Azrael getting past where he was before. And there's a green dragon.
Green dragon, thankfully not as lethal as its brethren. A hurt more than a punch takes care of it.
And now just a little under 100 experience away from level 12. The target number is 3,000.
I think we're getting into new territory with Ouijawii here, going south here, through these swamps, having to deal with this demon knight.
And we've got level 12 on Azrael's side. So 3 power, no speed, 18 hit points, and 7 MP.
Ouijawii braving this big swamp.
And Sparkover showing the excellent dodge hype in chat. The excellent move that is dodged.
Those are never fun. As Ouijawii has managed to find Caitlin.
The shopping mall of Alfgard is there 3 weapon and armor shops, although really at this point all they're looking for is an upgrade in armor. Although, well, Ouijawii not exactly having the money for an upgrade in armor or shield.
But thankfully,
if the coordinates can lead Ouijawii to the Erdrick's armor, then that'll be the best armor in the game, and certainly something that will assist him here.
oh, Azrael going down the same way as Ouijawii did, but here be dragons. Thou art dead. And the coordinates are 25 north, 30 west. Those should be countable. I think we've got enough space on the first continent to reach that point, and that means we may not need the assistance of Gwaelin, the princess over in the swamp cave.
Given the direction of where things are, that actually may not be too far from the swamp cave south. Maybe a little shy of it. And given the path that our runners have taken in that, let's see, 25 north and 30 west, though. Oh, wait a minute. I stand corrected. Yes,
And just south of Caitlin is Sharlock, the final dungeon of the game.
So that is going to be a hike for our runners to get back here if they end up having to take a death. So now I'm trying to remember if there was anything northwest of Tanagel. I believe that's part of what McGrew was indicating in chat, although I realized as I said it that I was thinking east instead of west.
Ouijawii has leveled up here, 3644. Another mediocre level.
So that's the first level up for Ouijawii in about 12 and a half minutes.
And seems to have hit a dead end, although I think he can still go west from here and explore some more. As the Stonemen break out the Dragon Lord 2 Breath, they want to get in on that no fun action, and they send Azrael back. Got a cave here for Ouijawii. Rainbow Drop Cave. Unfortunately, still missing the token to collect the Rainbow Drop. Without that, if he tried to talk to him now, that guy would prove why his cave is sometimes called the Jerk Cave, as he would just kick him out.
Indeed, as Azrael now going to use the torch here in the swamp cave. And might perhaps be taking a look at that, rescuing that princess.
I don't know about that. Azrael did not reach Caitlin, so this may just be another grind.
Oh, that could be possible too. Either way, heading in that direction. Princess doesn't know that.
Meanwhile, Ouijawii keeps on going through this windy path, trying to find some more stuff here before something nasty shows up. Finds another cave. I believe this can only be Mountain Cave.
I think that's the only one that we have not yet found. And Ouijawii seems to be navigating it in the dark and into a golem.
Yeah, this isn't good. This seems to have that same nasty pool of monsters. So we may be seeing more Fun Police before too long. Top floor has gold, and right on cue is the Fun Police.
And a question from, I have to mention this just because I love the name, Walk with Elias 25. What's up here is the last of the second round matchups for the Dragon Warrior Randomizer 2018 tournament, Ouijawii and AzraelRavenheart. And we are closing in on the 1 hour mark of this seed, and we've got Wings in the Mountain Cave.
Azrael actually going to go ahead and save Gwaelin. Ouijawii is made to the double chest and has found a cursed belt and a magic key. And I believe that's a second cursed belt, which means it is now confirmed the token is on a search spot, of which we only know one at the moment. We know of the coordinates. We still need to find Cole. We still need to find Hawksness.
And we know that the overworld has something. And we won't know what is in that last chest of the mountain cave, as Ouijawii is deceased, but quickly revived. And now it looks like Ouijawii is going to take care of that gold grind.
Yep, looks like he's going to print some money here, deciding that yes, he really does need that silver shield. Thankfully, I don't think the mountain cave, that final chest in the mountain cave, I think the best it could contain is the death necklace, but with the low health that's coming out so far, it's not looking too tempting to have that.
I mean, it might have the fairy flute, which could help if the golem tends to make its presence felt, as it already has been problematic this seed.
Oh, we've got some axe ghosts going on here. Also, I believe the fairy flute also is in a search spot, as we found a cursed belt all the way at the beginning of the game in the throne room. Usually, if the token or the flute would replace an item in a chest, it would be the cursed belt. So having two cursed belts means that all 3 search spots are occupied.
Alrighty, so the question is, will those coordinates lead to the fairy flute, or will it lead to one of the necessary items, either the best armor in the game or Erdrick's token?
Although Tilo mentioning, you never know when you'll get 60 health on a level, that's true.
Jackamus Wedge noting in chat, that's a lot of hips. Yeah, more hips than Shakira. And now here is level 13 for Azrael.
Yeah, Azrael's actually caught up in experience, only about 450 behind now.
Yeah, pretty easy to make up at this point.
And this actually is real strange. Ouijawii did the gold grind, didn't go and get the silver shield.
And Ouijawii not using a torch, so I'm not sure where exactly. I mean, is Ouijawii grinding in the swamp cave? Well, quickly establishing that experience lead. I mean, almost up to 1,000 now. Azrael, meanwhile, trying to run from a red dragon, and it's not quite going so well here. So this is an interesting play on Ouijawii's part.
But now Ouijawii is saving the princess. Gonna take her back and pick up an item that Azrael's gotten already called Gwaylen's Love, otherwise known as the GPS, as using it will let Gwaylen know, will let Gwaylen tell you where you are on the map.
And Jacob, we're asking in chat, is there a shield in Garanham? I know that there was a large shield purchase on Ouijawii's side there. I can't recall whether or not there was a silver shield there, although I know there is one right by the castle. I want to say it was it. Well, now I forget. I believe it was in Breckenary, but there may have also been one in Rimeldar.
I believe it was only Rimeldar.
Or was it Rimeldar?
Yeah, although Jacob may bring up a good point that Ouijawii is going to be able to save this gold now, so... Do you think he just forgot? Because... I think it's been over an hour now since he saw that silver shield. He may have just forgot.
And maybe trying to get to Garanham, thinking that's where it is, not realizing that it's just a little bit west of that location. I mean, why not? I've been observing it, and I can't remember which one's which here, so I could imagine the heat of the moment, trying to think of what you're... Oh, well, no, he's left Garanham also. So I'm not quite sure what Ouijawii's going for here.
Maybe he thinks the only one that's available is in Cantlin. Which is going to be a seriously long hike with a whole bunch of deadly stuff if he's going to get back there.
And that's given Azrael a chance to get a little more exploration in. And, ooh, Stone Man with the Dragon Lord Breath and getting a max roll on a 2 for 72. And Azrael getting a Magidrakey with the Ambush Run. Gotta love that.
Yeah, Azrael making up the exploration difference. We'll hopefully be finding Cantlin soon here and picking up some coordinates as well.
And here's a Demon Knight on Ouijawii's side, and well, Azrael now only about 600 experience behind Ouijawii. Both are looking for the target number of 5625 to get to level 14.
I think Azrael just wants to get away from this red dragon at the moment. He doesn't care about experience. Although Sports Hefe brought up a good point as Ouijawii gets back into Cantlin and picks up Big Silver. Azrael may have actually walked around Cantlin and missed it entirely. Although that doesn't matter now, is there was no running from the law this time.
So now things pretty well evened up, all things considered. I mean, Ouijawii has the knowledge of the coordinates, but both of our runners with the princess, both even in items otherwise. And McGrew noting in chat that maybe Azrael was in a different swamp, and that is entirely possible, because there's a lot of swampland out there.
Ouijawii going up to 14 here. 7 power, 2 agility, 11 hit points, 23 magic. Not bad. That big MP gain bringing him up to 99. So I'll give him plenty of magic to sling around.
And that actually is a good point to mention the trackers that you see on the bottom there as far as the different color text. In the early part of the game, if there were subpar statistics, you saw them in red. White kind of means that they're along the trail here. When you see them turn to orange, they're borderline stats. As far as, maybe you go, maybe you don't if you have a bunch of them, or it's in that questionable range. And once you see the green, that means that stat is good to go for heading on down to the Dragon Lord.
Ooh, Ouijawii risking the hurt more instead of the heal more. Not enough to take out the green dragon, and the green dragon takes him out.
So back out of Garenham is Ouijawii, as Azrael opting not to risk hurt-mooring the green dragon.
And oof. The exit from Swamp Cave takes you really far away from the castle, so this could be a really ugly search for those coordinates, even with the GPS, the Gwaelin positioning system.
Noctis Vigil, yes, there was an early gold grind that had occurred, although Ouijawii had gotten it just fairly recently, but Azrael acquiring the shield the silver shield pretty early on, as well as the full plate armor.
And Azrael has just found Caitlin. Gonna pick up some coordinates as well here.
Now this should be interesting given the comparable position of where Caitlin is to the castle. Azrael may just want to exit the town and use the Gwaelin's love right away to find out how close he may be, because it might actually be closer than he realizes.
update on Ouijawii 79 south and a 17 west, so still got quite a bit of ways to go south before he's in position.
And it could be possible that if it's not near Cantlin, that it may be near the towns that we have yet to find here.
And here it is, GPS from Cantlin. "44 south, 46 west." So getting close on the north and south, but going to have to travel west a whole bunch as the GPS is actually inverted from where you need to be compared to what the old man tells you.
So about 19 south and then a whole bunch west, probably about 70 or so.
Yeah, in order to be in the correct position, you'd want the GPS to say 25 south, 30 east, but with it being this much west, they've still got quite a ways to go.
And that not the direction that Azrael's looking for.
Yeah, you walk through a big old swamp and nothing at the end of it. Meanwhile, Ouijawii is trying to explore some more, but he gets ambushed and blasted by a Hurtmore from the Magic Wyvern. Thankfully not slept and wrecked.
So Ouijawii is back in the Rainbow Drop Cave, the jerk, who will still be jerkish. Because they have not found Erdrick's token yet.
Thou must prove thy lineage. Azrael catches up on levels, although Ouijawii is only about, I'd say about 7,000 off of the next level.
Seven, yeah.
700.
I was going to say 7,000, my goodness, no. At this point, well, now after that enemy, since the target number is 7,500, it's only about 544 away.
I do believe Ouijawii is on some new ground here, so hopefully we'll find either Cole or Hawksness before too long. And oh look, a town. And it's Hawksness. But with only 5 MP, Ouijawii really can't take on whoever's guarding the spike towel.
And I don't blame Ouijawii for not going to try to find out, just because any kind of an ambush will certainly send him back. But this is a long path to take to get back to where Hawksnest is.
But thankfully, there's another town right there. I think this has to be Cole, and it is, so he'll be able to take the inn here. But most importantly, here comes the first search spot. And it's the token.
Alright, so that is required.
Yes, and in fact, Ouijawii now has all 3 items necessary to go pick up the rainbow drop. And it's also healed back up, so now we're going to see what's in Hawksnest. Provided he can get away from this red dragon.
And the second time's the charm.
And with full health and mostly full MP, he should have the ability to take out whatever is on this spike tile with no problem. As Azrael finds Mountain Cave. And oh look! More red dragons.
Because why not?
But this time, Ouijawii has no choice, must fight this red dragon down. But he's going to be able to utilize that heal more, and it'll take a little bit, but he should have this. And he does, gaining level 15 as well. And there you go, 26 health. And the fairy flute, so the coordinates will have the armor.
So big gain in hit points there at level 15. Shubnator Cole is just to the southwest of Hawksnest, where Ouijawii currently is.
And Ouijawii is actually pretty close to coordinates as well.
Well, I did suggest a few minutes earlier that it could be that those coordinates are not too far from the towns we had not yet found.
Oh, but he returns.
No. Ooh.
And you can't go far enough north from here, so... Probably not remembering what was beyond Rimeldar there. And he's gonna have to take another big walk to get back to the coordinates.
Or maybe he was looking for the Rainbow Drop Cave just to get that out of the way?
I believe he knows where the jerk is. So...
Because knowing that he has to go that way, I mean, yes, there's a little doubling back that's going to occur to get back to Charlotte Castle, but I guess maybe Ouijawii's thought process is get the Rainbow Drop first, then go out, search the coordinates, or search the coordinate spot to get the armor, and then find a nearby town, stay there, and then off into Charlotte he goes.
Up to NG pointing out another possibility. He could have been wanting to cast Repel and just mismenued. Repel being right next to Return. Meanwhile, I believe Azrael's actually in close to that Hawksness and Cole combo. Azrael going to discover the town of Hawksness. Gonna herb up and leave.
Oh, but heading off to the east instead.
Yeah, trying to avoid that swamp, but that's where Cole is. Although I believe this area might be where the coordinates are. So
Yeah,
he might be
he's got his
discovering
eye on the armor. Not a bad play, because he figures why fight some enemy that he really doesn't want to, and instead could just essentially trip over it.
So he's in the area, and this doesn't look like a very dangerous zone, so we might have some armor before too much longer.
Just a few more
Surge armor.
There it is.
Not much of a defensive game, but he now has all the sexy of the armor, if you would like to describe it. It's late, I'll probably miss something.
So now Azrael going back here, perhaps thinking that the Guardian is the token, not realizing that just a few steps southwest of where he's at is Cole with said token.
Yeah, and Azrael actually fighting this on level 14 doesn't have the health that Ouijawii had. Might not... Gonna be close here killing this red dragon, especially if it keeps landing these big rolls.
Last heal more.
Azrael's guy and is about to pick up
Got it.
Das Flute.
So now he knows that coal is what is needed. Is he going to explore the swamp to the southwest?
Well, there's south, but there's also a red dragon. This could get ugly if this red dragon takes him out. One more hit. Oh no. Ow. That's brutal.
So that's right up there with Ouijawii casting Return at that point, which may have been intentional, may not have been. We're not necessarily sure. So now it looks like it's a race to that general direction. For Azrael, it's to get the token. For Ouijawii, it's to get the armor.
The good news for Azrael is all of that swamp is negated because of Erdrick's armor. So, big swamp, not a big problem anymore. And yeah, Beta Strep pointing out the agility not very good. And we have felt it this seed with the amount of red dragons roaming about.
Yeah, 49 agility with the strength agility build. And Ouijawie's starting to hone in. Meanwhile, Azrael going for an Armored Knight grind in the Swamp Cave, and now is going to get up to 15.
Ouijawii having trouble finding this spot. Needs to go west a whole lot more.
And for a brief second, I thought that Ouijawii might have already had the armor, but it's just the flashes of red are coming so quickly that I'm not quite seeing the damage inflicted. Now I'm able to see it.
And the meanwhile, just like that, Azrael catching up on experience.
And another excellent dodge, the missed critical.
Not fun. Ouijawii about to pick up the rainbow drop. But is going to have a difficult time getting anywhere in Sharlock without being able to negate all those glass tiles. So he's still going to need that armor.
Yes, those barrier tiles causing 15 hit points of damage per step, and that is negated with Erdrick's armor. Among the many, many, many benefits that Erdrick's armor has.
Yeah, and in addition to negating damage tiles, it also completely prevents you from being stop-spelled. It reduces hurt damage and breath damage by 1/3, and every step you take, you gain 1 hit point. So a bunch of nice stuff that Azrael has that Ouijawii doesn't.
And you see that the experience differential now only about 250. Although now with that kill of the red dragon, that puts it back up to about 500.
Looks like Azrael's back to the Armored Knight grind. And Ouijawii's made it back to the Hawksness area, just has to go east from here and search around in that desert, and he will be armored up. Provided he can get past this blue dragon.
right, so there's a question in chat of explaining how the randomizer program works. So what it does is, it customizes based on a series of algorithms a whole different map layout every time around here, as Ouijawii now getting up to level 16. So it generates so you can tell it to pick a number at random, and based on that number, it'll generate a completely different map setting that will have the treasure chest and search spot contents shaken around, and as well as the town and cave locations, what's in the weapon and armor shops, where the enemies are located, as now Azrael's up to level 16. Just like that, about a 30-second differential between our runners in terms of getting to level 16. And Azrael, for the first time in a long while, ever so briefly, had the experience lead.
The problem now is Azrael has to make that big trip back. Has to realize it's over there first, because it's a town, who knows where it's at, but Ouijawii, if he wants to, he can just go to Sharlock now, although the attack power is a little bit weak for trying to kill the Dragon Lord at the moment.
And Lauren, to answer your question in chat, as far as the build choices, this is something that goes back to the original vanilla version of the game, a little over, about 30 years ago, is that the first 4 characters of your name, whatever you put in there, it provides a calculation that determines 2 of the 4 statistics that get a bonus. It can either be strength and hit points, which is the most common used one among the runners, followed by strength and agility, which is the second most common. And then a little bit more rare, you'll have agility, magic points, and then also hit points and magic points.
Chat going over a potential Dragon Lord 2 fight, noting that with his excellent health and magic, he'll be getting plenty of doubles. Could have a chance of taking him right here.
It would just be a longer fight in that the amount of damage done with each attack would be on the second form of the Dragon Lord as low as 5 hit points and as high as 11. And the Dragon Lord has anywhere between 150 to 165.
But Ouijawii's going for it. Putting down the rainbow drop and heading on in. Someone asking in chat what the players are looking for right now. Azrael is looking for the town of Cole, as it contains a search spot that we know is the token. Meanwhile, Ouijawii just has everything needed to go fight the Dragon Lord. It's just maybe electing to take it to 17 here. This first floor of Sharlock looking pretty nice, having werewolves and star wyverns.
So Ouijawii making his way through the top part of Sharlock, the first floor, and potentially heading down the 7 different basement floors to get to the Dragon Lord.
Meanwhile, Azrael, heading in the correct direction, has found Cole, is about to pick up the token. And it looks like Ouijawii may be going for a exploration dive, spending MP on the way down, finding out that Star Wyverns have Dragon Lord breath.
And now looking at Azrael's numbers here, the agility a little bit higher, the defense a little bit higher, but this is where the tough decisions come in. Is do you make a run down there now and try to go after it with the low agility, or do you just try to grind your way up to 17, or do you try to fight your way down and try to pick up the level on the way? The challenge with that is that every decision has a justifiable reason as to why it would or would not work. Now, agility, yeah, well, Jackamus has it there in chat, but the impact of agility is the defense of the players, as well as the percentage chance of running from an enemy.
Yeah, every 2 points of agility providing an extra defense point. So you can see Azrael's strength agility build giving him a little bit more defense over Ouijawii. As it looks like Azrael's gonna grind some red dragons here on Hawksnest for a bit.
Yeah, to kind of give you the idea here, so the 61 agility for Azrael, it rounds down to the lowest even number, so essentially it's 60. So half of that would be 30 defense points. Plus you add to it the 28 points for Erdrick's armor, that's 58. The 20 points for the silver shield, that makes 78. And then the 2 points for equipping the dragon scale, so that's what constitutes Azrael's 80. And yes, looking at how close they are, 1 experience point apart are Ouijawii and Azrael, as now the slight advantage going to AzraelRavenheart in terms of experience, as both are trying to get to the target number of 12,000 to level up to 17.
Ouijawii, I believe, maybe going... Based on his movements, I think he might be going for vanilla sword location.
Just for a curious exploration, something that won't take up all of his resources, or at least it'll take all of his resources to get to that point, and then can make another dive to take a look in the basement.
And he's standing out right now. As Azrael hits 17, gets 8 power, 3 speed, 3 agility, 1 health, and some more MP. Those stats look pretty good. So yeah, we may have a race on our hands. Here, Azrael still has to get the rainbow drop, though. Ouijawii is right there.
Ooh, so those totals certainly make you think it's pretty close. So now the 131 attack power, so that's going to be a range of 7 to 15 on that Dragon Lord 2.
I think at this point, the Dragon Lord's free. He just has to get down there. Because with 142 health, you're going to get a lot of double attacks.
Generally, as far as the to answer the question in chat here, as far as how many heal mores can they burn, or how many MP can they use along the way to still have a chance, with 131 attack power, generally they'll want to have 104 MP, so that gives them 22 MP difference. So yeah, you theoretically could burn 2, as JJ Schmidt puts in chat, 2, maybe 3 heal mores, and feel fairly confident that you'd be able to take on Dragon Lord 2 at this point.
Azrael about to enter Sharlock as Ouijawii fights a Star Wyvern. And casting heal, which is fine because with his current MP, he'll have another casting of heal he can do and not lose a heal more. But Ouijawii goes down to a Star Wyvern.
Trying to get away, and oh wow. So, depending on whether this is a legit dive here for Azrael or just trying to get some information, that does give him the lead here.
You gotta believe this is a legit dive. And yeah, this was mentioned earlier, the long hike back to Sharlock.
So that can certainly swing things by 3, maybe 4 minutes, just from that one death in Sharlock. And discussion in chat about utilizing the Death Necklace. Now, that has not been found by either of our runners, but how the Death Necklace works in the vanilla version of the game, it is a cursed item that if you are wearing it, if you put it on and are cursed, and you try to go back to the castle, you're not allowed back into the castle. Here in Dragon Warrior Randomizer, it was given a little bit of incentive. So once you put it on, you lose 25% of your maximum hit points. But in exchange for that, you gain an additional 10 attack power. And they're noting that for Ouijawii, who has a higher hit point total because of the strength and hit point build, that will give him a little bit more wiggle room, as ideally you want to have a minimum of 97 hit points when you go to face the Dragon Lord. Although in this case, given their low defense, they may want to have maybe 98, 99, something along those lines, if they want to utilize the Death Necklace.
Yeah, these runners not quite up to the magic 86 defense that brings the Dragon Lord's basic attack down to the top of a breath attack.
Which would be 48 hit points.
Usually when we're discussing health, we're going by the damage breath does, but if you don't have enough defense, you can get sniped by a physical, which we've had this week. But AzraelRavenheart has made it to the bottom floor of Sharlock. not running into many encounters, and just has to make it all the way around this floor, fight whatever's blocking the way to the Dragon Lord, and he may have the end coming for this round.
Well, it doesn't look like, at least for the moment, we're going to find out what's in the treasury in Charlotte Castle, as those 6 chests just kind of hanging out there. And it looks like Ouijawii is back in the Swamp Cave, working on the litany of armored knights, trying to get up to level 18. And to do so, the target number for that is going to be 14,250 experience, which right now that is 421 experience away.
Azrael not having much luck with the desert tiles here, getting 3 straight encounters. And we're about to find out what's on the spike tile. Another armored knight.
And now here comes level 18. 20 power increase, 16 response speed. So that looks to be the number.
And Azrael has to burn another heal more facing off against this armored knight.
So for Ouijawii, that looked to have been the play, was to grind up to 18, and that gives the agility needed, that gives the defense needed, that gives the attack needed. You can see the greens all across the board. So now it is just a matter of getting down there.
But will Ouijawii have the time? Azrael is talking to the Dragon Lord, is being called to full, and is starting the fight now.
So might that play have been too little too late?
Azrael getting the stop spell, electing to just finish the first phase here, going into phase 2 with 102 health. Not bad. And getting the first strike as well, so this is going to be 2 hits straight off the bat. That is, I believe that was a 12 followed by an 8 for 20 damage.
Looks like that was 13 and 8 for 21. Now there's your 12, so we're up to 33.
$44. Now 53, as I believe that was another double.
That was a double attack, meaning not having to use a heal more right after attack, although that one's more than likely going to have to here. So there's another 11 for 64.
Got taken very low, but got a good heal more roll, as that 9 takes it to 73.
And again, the Dragon Lord can have anywhere between 150 and 165 hit points, as another 11 makes it 84.
And this should be a double, as that 9 takes it to 93. And the big hit takes it to 108.
So this is looking pretty good, all things considered. Oh, another 13, that's 121.
And still has 5 heal mores to go. Unless there's a miss menu, this should be Azrael's. Low rolls could also do as a 7 comes out.
So 146. So this next attack could be the last one, depending on how it goes. If it's a low roll, that 150, and it's an 8, and it's not quite enough. 154.
But this attack does it.
And another 8 will do it for 162. So a little bit on the longer side of the fight here, but Azrael is going to go ahead and take it. So Azrael will be among those who go to 2-0 here in the first 2 rounds of the Swiss Seed.
And it is official. AzraelRavenheart has won with a time of 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 43 seconds. Get out your GGs.
So I imagine we'll momentarily be joined here by Azrael as Ouijawii now making the dive down to the Dragon Lord and that 7th baseman to Sherlock. And yes, the added effect of fire, just trying to burninate the times in this case, Jay Coper. Now, it looks like Ouijawii is going to head off into the treasury. Perhaps
about to put
the death necklace?
Yeah, gonna search the pyramid here. And there it is, middle left has your death necklace.
Oh, and putting it on right away.
Yeah, his health drops to 112, but with 161 attack, this Dragon Lord is just going to melt.
So that's going to be an attack range of 15 to 30 per attack. And our tracker Z-Man noting in chat that how nutty it is that Ouijawii's minimum is going to be Azrael's maximum in terms of attack on the Dragon Lord 2. And speaking of which, we have our victor, AzraelRavenheart, here in chat. Congratulations and GG on going to 2-0.
Thank you. I'll apologize in advance if anything kind of cuts out. I just saw my Discord drop to like 1 bar, so... glory of Comcast modems, that's why I had those little hiccups during the race, which were really throwing my concentration off early. And then that plus the ever-prevalent fun place literally everywhere on the second continent. There were a couple times when you saw like a good 4 or 5 second pause on my screen, and I was just like, I just want to quit already because this map is awful and internet problems and everything, and I stuck in it, got the coordinates, and I was just like, Jesus, these are the worst coordinates on this map. And when I got over and found Hawksness, I was like, alright, coordinates are like right here, let me get the coordinates first. And it was around that point that I was like, maybe, despite how bad I feel like I played the early game, I might actually still have a chance here.
Well, and it was pretty even all throughout, including at one point pretty early on, just before the 10-minute mark, you and Ouijawii both got to level 4 at exactly the same time. It was in stereo.
What? Oh my god. Like, that whole early game, I was like, I played this so bad. Like, everything here should have been 3 minutes faster. I forgot to sell the belt at Breckenary immediately and get keys, like, right when I got the Remolder. And instead I took, like, the stupid death so I could, like, grind a key, and then when I went to go grind a key, it was like, you dummy, you have Cursed Belt. Like, go buy 3 keys and open the seed up for you. And then I had also spotted that cave. And then the second I got in that cave, I'm like, cool, gold grind. Like, there's Flame Sword, Silver Shield, 5 steps away from Tentagial. We're just going in on this gold grind as quickly as humanly possible so that I can try to explore.
And that was certainly the play, as Ouijawii now finishing up here as just easily obliterating the Dragon Lord as he ground up to level 18, and there was a 20 strength boost at level 18, as well as a huge agility boost.
Yeah, I figured the agi boost had to be somewhere because I was strength agility, and I have 64 agility at level 17. This is the biggest dumpster fire of an agility seed I've ever seen in my life. So I was like, there had to have been a agility gain, but as soon as I hit 17, I looked at my stats, quickly ran the math because we had so much HP and MP. I was like, I need 15 hits, I have 15 heal mores. Yeah, sure, let's go. I think I get this.
Yep, and the issue was Ouijawii actually, in trying to get down to there, not having the agility build, he went with strength HP, was taken out by an enemy, and given that long walk to Sharlock, that ended up being the difference as Ouijawii finishing with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 13 seconds. So that is a 5.5 minute differential right on the dot.
I see he had the death necklace. Where was that? Because that was in the back of my mind.
It was in Sharlock's treasury. In the pyramid.
I thought about checking treasury. I was like, do I check treasury? Because death necklace means maybe I shave 2 turns or so off of the battle, but I opted to not and just play it safe, even though Breckenary was 3 steps away from Tentagial, so I didn't really have to worry about the curse too much. But I opted to not and just play it safe, even though.
And here in chat now is
Ouijawii. 3
Ouijawii.
steps away from Tentagial, so I
Not
didn't really
those
have
phone
to worry about
police.
the curse too much.
Yeah, this is exactly what you don't want to see in the seed
And
where
here
you
in
roll
chat now
strength
is
points
Ouijawii.
and get low agility. So
Not
that's
those
just the way it
phone
goes.
police.
Sometimes though, it's just one of those seeds where you just keep dying to the same thing over and over, and there's really nothing you can do about it. You just gotta power through somehow eventually, and sometimes it takes a little longer than you want it to.
Don't feel bad about going strength HP. That was probably the correct play. I only had 64 agility at level 17 with strength agi, so there was no agility to be had in this seed.
I saw that, and I actually went to level 18. Level 18 was a big boost. Did you finish this at level 17?
I did, yeah.
I head into Sharlock at 17, but I couldn't run from a Star Wyvern, so I just said screw it, I'm in the level.
I had no issues. I got run blocked by a golem one time, a werewolf one time, and I resolved myself to just kill every red dragon and armored knight on the way down because I didn't think I would actually run from them at all. And we had so much HP and MP, and I had like the full complement of herbs that I just thought that being a little bit greedy with heal walking to conserve some MP and just fighting the fun place on the way down to maybe even hit 18 on the way, depending on how my encounter luck went. It went above average. I only saw one red dragon and 2 armored knights that weren't the spike tile, so 3 AKs total.
Yeah, that's good. I don't even think I made it past the first floor when I was level 17. I just ran straight to a Star Wyvern and I couldn't run. So I just gave up on that idea right away pretty much. But I was attempting to do the same thing you did there. It just didn't get very far.
Did you get Cole the first time you were over at Hawksness?
He did.
I did, yeah, because I knew I was looking for both of them, and my first thought was, oh, look at all this swamp here. I'm not going to go that way, right? No, let's check it first because I might die if I go right. I just got lucky.
I already had the coordinates, so I was like homed in on like check coords first. They're over here. This is the middle of absolutely nowhere. Coordinates were armor. I was like, all right. I had like 50 HP and 30 MP. I figured let's check the Sharlock boss. It was a red dragon, which at that point I was already kind of like on the really sluggish grind fight with them. I ended up killing the red dragon, finding the fairy flute, and then I was actually heading right for Cole, and I got ganked by a red dragon on the world map with like 1 MP and like 24 HP or something, and just got smacked back to Tentagel and was like, alright, well, Cole has to be down there. I'm pretty sure I covered the rest of this abysmal map. And then I get right to Hawksness with like full resources, walk a half a screen down and see a town. I'm like that. Yep, there it is.
Yep, the only place left.
God.
The hardest time trying to find the armor on the overworld because the map just kept winding and winding, and I kept thinking, man, I have to walk like 80 steps east in order to go 100 steps west. This doesn't seem right.
Yeah, thankfully I had Gwaelin already before I had Cords. Because in the really awful early game, like, we both apparently struggled in our early game and then both got our gold grinds, and then, like, the only thing left after the cluster of goodies right next to Tantagel was Swamp. And I went through Swamp, and it was like, up, left, down the left, alright, it's all blocked, down the bottom, blocked, so, like, we have to go northeast. Fun place. Go back.
Yep.
Fun place. Go back. Fun place. I was like, I'm gonna check Spike Tile in Swamp, because we have
That's what I
Hurtmore,
did.
and if this is an Axe Knight, I'm just going to grind it till 16, and then try to explore.
I tried that exact thing a couple of times, but during the grind on the Armored Knight there in the Swamp Cave, I kept taking one step and getting a red dragon and sending back, and I was just like, I'm done with this.
Wait, there were red dragons in Swamp Cave?
There were.
Swamp Cave, yeah, they killed me 2 or 3 times.
Oh, I think I saw everything except the red dragon then, because I saw the 3 lower tier enemies, and then there were also golems. Because a golem punched me back to start once.
Okay, something I want to ask. I believe it was right after you found the fairy flute. I'm not exactly sure. It might have been somewhere else, but after that, Ouijawii, you used return. I was wondering if that was a miss menu or if that was something else.
No, because for some reason I didn't think I was anywhere near the armor there, so I thought, well, maybe there was something I forgot about near the start, and if there wasn't, then I can just walk back here. It's fine. There's lots to kill on the way there. So yeah, I just got a little confused for a bit when I was looking for the armor because the map was just so weird.
Yeah, very windy, very swampy.
And very much one direction that you could go. There were not branches for 90% of that map until the very end. Yeah, thankfully when I got the coordinates, I knew there was no way that it was on Continent 1. Because I looked at everything to the west of Rimuldar, and I'm like, I stopped there, like, tried to like run the math in my head. I'm like, I think we maybe get like 10 north and 20 west. It has to be on the second continent. And then, since I already had Gwaelin's Love, as soon as I got out of Cantlin, I immediately called up the GPS, saw the coordinates, tried to go south behind Sharlock, found that was a dead end. And then kind of checked my coordinates again. I was like, alright, this is going to be an awful long double up on our step count for the overworld, because we're going to have to go east to go west, or, west to go east, whatever.
Actually,
we were
it was
so
both.
far out.
East before west before east again.
Yeah, like it's absolutely insane map.
That was not an easy seed, not for the faint of heart. But GG Azrael for winning that one. That was something else. I'll remember that one for a while.
Yeah, GG indeed. That was some kind of seed. We're gonna have to have some words with Spark over for this one. This map was a mess.
Also, one more question for you, Ouijawii. You did your gold grind later on, and then you took it to Cantlin. Did you check Rimeldar for its weapon shop? Because I believe there was a silver shield there, or did you just forget?
I wasn't looking for the silver shield when I checked that weapon shop. I was just looking for the early game items, and that was the only one time I checked it. And I just figured, oh, I know it's in Cantlin, so I'm just going to go there. I'm not going to bother wasting time checking another town. Plus, I wanted to go down to Cantlin anyway. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I could have gotten the silver shield there apparently, but it didn't matter. I don't think I died on any of the trips down there, so it worked out.
Yeah, you didn't die, but we were all scared for you with
I think
all
I
the
might have come
dragons
close.
rang about.
Yeah. Checked in hindsight.
But GG's, everybody. Y'all can go rest now, and we are about to have the reveal for round 3.
Yes, so there'll be the pairings of the 42 runners here. So you'll have the 2-0s taking on the 2-0s, the 1-1s squaring off against one another, and the 0-2s facing off as well. And they will be set up here via the randomization that will be done by one of our administrators here, JJ Schmidt 77. And then those races for round 3 will potentially start as early as tomorrow. So stay tuned and make sure, if you haven't already, to follow Randomania, not just here on Twitch, but also on Twitter as well, as there are some updates that come there as far as the different matchups that are going on. Not only with this tournament, but the Legend of Zelda Pentaforce tournament that's been going on as well. So it's been a very busy and active time here on the Randomania networks. So definitely stay tuned to everything going on here. And JJ Schmidt noting he'll pop in with us here in the commentators booth once a spot opens. So any closing thoughts here from our 2 runners tonight, Ouijawii and AzraelRavenheart?
I just want to say thank you to everybody working behind the scenes, restreaming, Spark over, and the commentators and trackers. All you guys are awesome for getting together at the last minute and doing this. It's always a good thing to see the community come together the way it has. And this is a great one to be a part of, so thank you very much.
Azrael, any closing thoughts here?
No, I think just echoing what we just said. Really last minute, double reschedule, super late night race to close up the round. Everybody coming together to make sure that we can get on air and get it broadcast for all the viewers. So, big thanks to everybody who does all the behind the scenes work. GG to Ouijawii again, and whew, what a map.
Most certainly. So, well, thank you both for joining us here, and we're going to make way momentarily for JJ Schmidt 77, who is going to join us here, and we're going to set up the random lottery drawing here, in a sense, and see who is going to be facing off against who coming up here for round 3 of our 5 Swiss rounds in the 2018 Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament.
And in fact, JJ Schmidt has joined us in the chat room. Hello there.
Well, hey fellas, how are you doing?
Doing fantastic here. Doing a little bit of research here. As there was a question in chat from Lorgon as far as what is the closest time pairs thus far. And as I'm looking at the numbers here, I believe it was actually in this round where there was a differential of 17 seconds between our tracker tonight, Z-Man 050778, and Captain Green 7, I believe it was. That it went just 17 seconds difference between the first place finisher and the runner up.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of calling that match, and it was insane. It was half of a quad, and the whole quad was just down to the wire, so that was an awesome one.
That's just some of the excitement that we've had over the course of the last 14 days, and there's so much more to go.
Right, so with that in mind, we've got everything set up here. So the way round 2 shook out, we will have, we did have 10 2-0 runners, so we'll have 5 2-0 matchups. Also had 10 total 0-2 runners, so we'll have 5 0-2 matchups, which leaves 11 1-1 matchups. So that's going to be insane. The talent pool is so deep, as we talked about earlier. I got some random numbers from the winners of the quad that I commentated earlier. So for the 2-0 runners, we're going to roll 4 times, and whatever's on that fourth roll will be what we go with. Same thing with the 0-2s. We'll do 2 rolls, and whatever that shakes out as, we'll just go with. The 1-1s, I'll have to do a little spot checking to make sure we don't get any rematches, so we'll just go 1 roll at a time for those. But without further ado, we'll get the 2-0s loaded in there. And we just go down the list, so 1 versus 2, all the way down.
There you are.
All right, so it looks like we have. Wow, we've got a. Well, I was gonna say they're all fantastic battles here, but I mean, among our 2-0 runners here, you've got Jackamus taking on Angry Larry. I think the post-game interview is going to be even better than the matchup for in that case, and the matchup's going to be astounding. You've got High Spirits and Nest Cardinality, Centroid 41, and Zarnax 42. Amazing how that worked out. AzraelRavenheart against JJ Schmidt, and Sparkover against Up to NG. Ooh, Sparkover doing the restreaming for us tonight here. So are we going to go to the 0-2s next and then jump back to the 1-1s? How is this going to work here, JJ?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that here. And there we are.
Alrighty, so among those who have a little bit of catching up to do here, and certainly have their work cut out for them, we've got Will Wagner Music against Caton619, Bent Glass Tube against the Tie-Dye Guy, Janice against Retro Omega X, Jake Hoper and WMD88, and Captain Green 7 against Eternal Newbie.
WMD is getting absolutely no love out of this random.org website that does this randomizing for us.
And to confirm in chat, these are the 0 and 2s first. We're taking care of the definitive number of rolls, and then we'll go to the 1 and 1s that are going to have as many as needed. So, up to NG noting in chat, WMD having very dubious set of rolls in terms of the opponents that he's had. Has had a very steep uphill climb, to say the least. In round 1, having the dubious distinction of taking on Mr. Holmes, and then in this second round here, going up against Game Boy F9. Although, if that's any indication, I mean, WMD taking on 2 former champions here, maybe that means Jake Hoper might come back to win the whole thing. Who knows?
He's still in.
Yeah, stranger things have happened, and I mean, Jake Hoper is certainly a very talented runner, and I certainly wouldn't put it past him here to run the table and rattle off as many in a row as it needs here to get to the finals and take it all.
Yeah, you can't discount these 0-2 matches because they can get 3 straight wins. They're right there in the brackets. They don't even have to worry about the play-in.
And Zarnax noting in chat, would love to see an 0-3 win the whole thing. That would require a lot of the running of the table here.
So the stream might lag a little bit here, but first roll did the trick. We don't have any rematches, so I'm going to start loading these in.
All right, so as they're shaking out here among the other 22 competitors, the remaining 11 matchups here. So we've got Synthpop is back against Z-Man. Also Tyrannex, who went to 1-1 with the upset in the first round, taking on the Seawolf 1, a very formidable competitor. Schubinator against Mr. Holmes. Also Edgeworth against Dataplet. The Alan Heffley against BTs. Ooh, wow. Tristle and Ouijawii, that should be fantastic. The Hangry Canuck and Tilo. McGrew against Game Boy 9. Oh, mark the calendar down for that one. Amazing Toaster and It's Too Early. Ryu Station, Lord of the Synth, and Silverfire and Lavkian. Like I said, just up and down across the board, they're all fantastic matchups. I'd love to be able to call all 21 of them, but I would like to sleep at some point. Maybe.
Yeah, that's some fantastic matchups. Like we've said, kind of this whole race. There's just so many good runners. It's such a deep pool that we're going to get awesome matchups pretty much start to finish.
And it all can start as early as tomorrow night once the respective runners can compare and contrast their schedules and find an available time to get things in here. Then they'll submit it into the requests here, and we'll hopefully be able to bring all of them to you among the Randomania networks. So make sure to take a look at randomania.net/calendar for a list of all the upcoming events, as there's quite a bit that goes on here among the Randomania networks, including the Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament. Right now, the Legend of Zelda Pentaforce tournament is going on. Also, you've got weekly races of things such as, well, tomorrow night will be the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Weekly. Saturday nights have the Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer Weekly, just to name a few. And, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the administrators who have the Wednesday night special, the Mutants and Masterminds Bay City Chronicles, that goes on. Plus, since I do a lot of commentary for it, I should also mention the Super Mario Land 2 Randomizer League that goes on. There's a couple of matchups coming up on Tuesday for that as well, but that's all available on the calendar, so you definitely want to check that out. Also, make sure to give our runners a follow here, as they've done a fantastic job this evening, as does everybody here among the Randomania networks. And I also want to thank behind the scenes here Sparkover for being a very awesome helper bear and helping keep us on the keeping us on the air here, as well as Z-Man050778 for the tracking. And Smashy, it's been a pleasure commentating with you here. It's certainly a roller coaster ride and then some.
Thank you, and I hope to commentate some more and maybe do some tracking and just help out as much as I can.
That's what we are all looking to do here. So for everybody behind the scenes, JJ, anything else to add here before we wrap things up for the night?
Just keep an eye on Discord for the schedules as they come out, and we'll see you back on these Randomania networks.
Most certainly. Well, for everyone else here, I'm Ferran Burgundy saying until next time, may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. So long, everyone.
Go get some sleep.